How's it going, guys? Mike here on the Tressa's Collectibles channel, bringing you guys an end of the year collection update. Now, normally I know you guys see a bunch of gameplay related videos. We obviously focus more on the game aspect of Weiss Schwarz, but I am also a very avid collector. I love Weiss Schwarz mostly because it has a bunch of my favorite IPs and all that. And so I've been playing and collecting more than 10 years, and my collection just seems to get bigger and bigger every year. So I figured, hey, what is a collection good for if not to share your passion and love of your cards with others that might appreciate it. So without further ado, let's get started. Here are some of the things, or I think most of the things. I tried to look for everything that I did pick up for my own personal collection this year, and I think this is the majority of them. So we're going to go over some singles that I really liked, going to go over some binders, and also going to go over a couple of my favorite decks, a couple of my favorite franchises, and just talk about those as well. So I've organized everything in a little bit, so let's just start off with the English side. We have this beautiful Saya from the released Bane Dream Countdown Collection, I believe it's what it's called. We actually pulled this card, Rando and I did, on one of our, on the product opening video, So that's always really cool. Obviously, our product videos, we only get to open a couple boxes for the video since we do go so in depth with our explanations. So it is always a treat when we actually do pull something on camera. Saya is one of my favorite characters from Bane Dream, alongside Lisa. And I'm not super into the Bane Dream franchise anymore like I used to be, I would say maybe 4 or 5 years ago. Maybe like 3-4 years ago. But I still do like the characters a lot. I still have those, feelings of when I was super into the fandom. And Countdown Collection just has a lot of really nice art, and this Saya is super cute. So I decided to keep this since we opened it. It's a nice memento. Next we have just a little card from the Love Life Premium Booster. Still sticking with the Bushiroad Idol theme. We have this really nice looking eye. One thing that I do appreciate about Premium Boosters is they usually do make an effort to make the foils look nice. Some better than others. But I think that is what we're trading off, right, for a box structure that otherwise does not have that many cards, right? So people might think that, like, quantity-wise, we are kind of getting ripped off, and there is certainly some merit to that argument. But I think we can view it with a glass half full kind of approach, and just appreciate all the nice foils that we do get in every pack. I actually haven't watched Nijigasaki, so I don't really know who would like the characteristics, the personalities of the new girls, but this card's really cute. I have a thing for blondes, so yeah, she's cute. Next, still sticking with premium boosters, we have I kept this level 3 Wilhelmina sign from Shauna Premium. I remember watching Shauna back in like 2011, I think 2011. I believe the first season aired in like 2008 or 2009. And the more I think about it, this character might have actually been the catalyst of my maid addiction. I really like maids in anime media. The maid character is usually the one that I gravitate towards. So like Hayasaka, Ram, just to name a few. And it's been so long since I actually thought about Shauna at all until it came back into Weiss. And then I kind of realized as I was looking over the cards that Wilhelmina's design is just so beautiful. And I also remember really liking her character. I think maids usually have this certain type of air and demeanor about them, so I really appreciate the art and character of Wilhelmina, and I think the design's also really cool. I don't remember who signed this, but just look at that art of the little bear. It's really nice. Alright, moving on. We have a Shinano from the English release of Azure Lane. This is specifically the reprint version that features the silver signature. I really like the silver on Shinano in particular. I think the gold versus silver thing is, for the most part, going to be subjective in terms of if you're just looking for one to add to your collection. For example, I think for Azure Lane, most of the Iron Blood girls probably will fit better with the original gold color signature, just because of their gold background for the Iron Blood girls. But I think for some others, like Shinano has her silver and blue aesthetic going on, and there's a very blue background, so I think the silver color really matches up very nicely. I super like Shinano's character design. Her alongside Belfast and Baltimore are my 3 favorites. So I did pick up a Belfast Secret and Baltimore SP when Azure Lane came out in Japanese last year. But that was a last year pickup, so no, we're not talking about past pickups. We're talking about 2024 pickups. But I really like this card. It's very happy to have added it to my collection. Next we have this level 3 Kosaki from Nisekoi Extra Booster that I picked up in the shop. I really... It's not as if I particularly like Kosaki. Oh, I do quite like Kana Hane Zawa Lawa Lawa Hane Kana Hana Wala Lala, but I have no super big feelings about Kosaki. I do like Nisekoi, but Chitoge has always been my personal favorite. But the reason why I had to keep this one for myself is because I needed to find the pair for my Haru, my level 3 Haru SP that I have kept since the original release of English Nisekoi Extra Booster. You guys might notice that there's a little bit of uniqueness to this Haru. So, yeah. Maybe I give Kosaki a little haircut as well, make her match her sister. Well, we'll see. Alright, and then rounding out the last of my English stack is Danmachi. Now you guys might think, Danmachi is not a set that came out in 2024. Well, I guess so, neither is Nisekoi, but I actually started watching Danmachi sometime this year, and after having avoided it for almost, actually, 10 years, I think. Danmachi is almost 10 years old. Isn't that crazy to think about, guys? But I never really liked how they marketed themselves when Season 1 first came out, right? I was very turned off by how they were kind of like sexually promoting Hestia. And obviously the title of the show itself, is Wrong to Pick Up Girls in a Dungeon, it definitely promotes a certain type of, like, you think it's about, it's that kind of show when it's something else completely, right? Kind of like how people were thrown off when they were first introduced to Rascal Does Not Dream of Bunny Girl Senpai, with the key visual and the title. You're bound to kind of be prejudiced a certain way as to what the show might be about. But recently, I'm not sure why. I was talking to a customer about, some of our favorite anime, and Danmachi came up, and I think one thing led to another, and it led me to try to actually watch Danmachi. I think I was also in like a really big fantasy mood, just like pure fantasy, not isekai, because I generally don't really like isekai. So kind of like just pure fantasy. I think it was like after Frieren, I was just looking for some other pure fantasies to watch. So I started watching Danmachi, right? I went on High Dive and I watched all 4 seasons, and I loved it. I really loved it. I think season 1 I really liked for how, in particular, I really liked Belle. I think Bell is one of my more favorite protagonists, male protagonists. I really like how straightforward he is. I think that he earns a lot of his accomplishments. Like, he really works hard for them. Obviously, he has a skill which just makes his growth like really OP, right? In the lore, but I just really appreciate his character. I like his how he interacts with Hestia. Obviously, Hestia can be very loud, very obnoxious, but you can clearly tell that they have a very caring relationship. And when Hestia and Bell do have those serious heart-to-heart talks, those are some of my favorite moments in the show. Right? Season 1, I really loved the Black Minotaur fight with him saying that he can't be protected by eyes anymore. He has to fight himself, right? And that's where the scene for this particular card, I believe, comes from, right? I decided to pick up a couple of Danmachi cards because I just really loved Danmachi. I think the flavor text for this is これが僕の冒険僕はなりたい英雄になりたい So this is my adventure from now on. I want to become a hero, right? Bell's dream is to become a hero, and I think that is it's so nice to just have pure fantasy and a setting that just really draws you in. I really love the setting of Orario. I love all the characters. At this point, I'm so engrossed in Danmachi, I can probably tell you just off the top of my head who all the characters and which familias they belong to, all their levels and stuff. Well, like for example, for Love Live, I can't even tell the difference between Nijigasaki and Layla characters, you know. So I really like Danmachi is the point. Season 2, I thought, like most other people, I thought it was kind of just okay. But Season 3, I appreciated quite a lot. I appreciated how Bell dealt with the Xenos, how he was conflicted about his own virtues, his own principles, compared to those that are just standardized for the town of Aurora. You know, demons are always bad. We have to kill demons. No, demons kill us. We have to kill them, right? So he comes into a big conflict with the rest of the town, and specifically Ice, which is the character he admires so much. And then Season 4, oh my god, Season 4, man. Like, Season 4 is probably just one of my favorite seasons. Or yeah, probably just one of my favorite seasons, one of my favorite cours of anime in a long time. I loved the Ryu arc. I loved there's so many things that are super great about this. I do like Hymin quite a bit, and her voicing Ryu, it's really my type. She has that kind of like, she starts off with that kind of like a bit of aloof, nonchalant, kind of deeper voice range, but then like you can really tell that she puts a lot into her work, and as situations grow more dire and as emotions run high, like Ryu, Hayaming is really able to bring out the full range of emotions as Ryu, and like those episodes with Ryu and Bell in the lower levels was just so beautiful. One thing I also really liked about Season 4 was the fact that alongside Ryu and Bell being trapped in those deep floors, was the rest of the party needing to fight, you know, Amphibiana, you know, the floor boss of level 27. I thought that entire sequence and how those parties needed to fight without Bell, I thought that was very cool as well. The battle scenes were super well done. I really liked how everyone stepped up to the plate. Lily as the leader of the group, that gives out all the strategy. Wealth with his magical source, setting aside his pride to save his friends. All the supporting cast, right, also were fairly likable, you know. And one of my personal favorites, I really like Mikoto, and Mikoto had her kick-ass moments. I'm really sad that Mikoto doesn't have a signature from Season 1, the Season 1 booster. She has like 2 cards or something, so it is a bit of a shame, but I really like Mikoto. screw Cassandra though. Yeah, you know what I mean. Like I think the anime kind of did her a bit dirty, but it kind of seems like all she did while they were fighting the four boss and all the time that they were in the dungeon, Cassandra was like, "Oh, my prophecy, the prophecy, we're all doomed. There's no escaping. Woe is me, woe is us." But yeah, I think the light novel probably did a better job of kind of being able to convey to the viewers, you know, her point of view. And I think she also did do quite a bit of healing. But that's always going to be the thing with like light novel to anime adaptations compared to manga to anime adaptations, where it is a lot easier to just convey all the information because the manga as a source material has to convey information like that. Whereas in light novels, you can have a bunch of exposition, a bunch of just background information that the author can just write and throw at you that just doesn't translate to the anime medium quite as well. But anyways, my love for Danmachi aside, I decided to pick up a couple of Danmachi cards. I was actually thinking of building a max rarity gold bar door build with the level 1 Ryu and the level 2 Bell. It's actually probably not even that bad. Obviously, it's not the meta Hestia Bell build, but you know, we're not always here to play meta. I like Weiss Schwarz because I can play with my favorite characters. So that's that. And I kept a Seer because we are heading into Seer's arc, and it is pretty cool so far. So that's my Danmachi collection that I just started this year. And that does it for my English stack. Let's go on to my Japanese stack now. So first off, Blue Archive came out this year, I think sometime in February, so I picked myself up a Troll Deck Shiroko. I don't play Blue Archive, just like how I don't play Azure Lane, but yeah, you might have noticed a theme with some of my preferences, so yeah, I really like her design. I really like Shiroko. I also, like, last year when I went to Japan, I think I picked up the signature Shiroko from Rebirth for You, I believe, which has the exact same art. So this card normally is sitting in one of my binders next to that Rebirth for You Shiroko signature as well. Alrighty. Next, from the very recent Fujimi Fantasia Bunko Volume 2, I picked up a couple Isuzu Sento 50 cent signatures. I always really like the Bunko sets because not only do they have really nice light novel art, but also they cover so many different franchises. And as someone that started watching anime in like the early 10s and did go back to see some of the classics of the 2000s into the 2010s and ever since, I like a lot of franchises. So I'm really happy that a lot of these really old franchises gets the opportunity to get cards because of these Bunko sets. So like, normally you would not expect an Amagi Brilliant Park set to be a standalone set in Weiss Schwarz ever, right? But this gives those more niche series an opportunity to shine. So I really like 50 Cent. I really like Amagi Brilliant Park. So I decided to pick up a couple of Isuzu signs. I don't think I've ever seen her sign something before, but I also am not super familiar with her voice actress. I just really like her character. I really like ponytails. Alright, next we have Idolmaster Cinderella Girls. They came out with a third set this year after a hiatus from set 2. I think that was like something like a 8-year hiatus or something, or like a gap between set 2 and this year's set 3. I loved Cinderella Girls set 3 because they did something which is just completely unheard of. All the SRs are actually character signs, both from the booster and the trial deck. So like every trial deck you open, you got a character sign. Every booster you open, you got 1 or 2 character signs. And then they still had the actual Seiyu signatures. So overall, there, if you count both the character signs and the SPs, there's like easily over 100, I believe, different signs to collect. I actually went and collected one of every character sign from the booster, which I think comes out to 75 character signs, and I put it in this giant, huge binder. I think I have a picture on the Tressa's Twitter. I think that we can probably show us on the screen here. But yeah, that thing, it's such, like, it fits so well, right? Having all those signs on one page, and they're all so cheap too. They're like $2-3. Some of the more popular characters were like $5-10. But it's the best bang for your buck that you could possibly get if you like Idolmaster and you just want cheap signs. It's so affordable. So I have a select few that I took out from the binder to show you guys. The binder itself is like way too big to show on screen. It's like gigantic. But I really like Uzuki, so here's an Uzuki one. I kind of wish, well, not wish, I might pick up a Hashi SP for Uzuki in the future, but it's not in my plans right now. But I really like Hashi, right? Ohashi Sayaka. I might have gotten that wrong, but she's the girl that also does Saya from Bane Dream. So I really like her and the voices she plays. Uzuki, so I do like Uzuki quite a bit. I used to actually play Cinderella Girls Starlight Stage quite a bit. I'm a big rhythm gamer. So one of the characters that I was really drawn to from the mobile game was Yoshino. So this is Yoshino, Miss Deshte. She is so cute, so beautiful. So I picked up the Trial Deck SP for her. And then I picked up 2 actual Seiyu signatures from the booster. So I picked up a Karen and a Rin, because those are my favorite characters. Some of my favorite characters. I kind of had to pick and choose because there are literally just so many options, and I'm not going to go all in on this set. I'm just going to collect some of my favorites. So I think I might add to my Cinderella Girls collection piece by piece as time goes on. I might try to pick up like a Mika, I think. Let's see, who else do I really like that has a Seiyu sign? Uzuki, like I mentioned before. I might pick up a... I might complete Tri-Primus just because I have 2 of the 3. But I don't really care about... God, Randall's gonna kill me. I can't even remember her name right now. Karen, Rin... Now, I like... don't super care about now, but I actually really like her voice actress. I always found her to be really mesmerizing when she performed in the Cinderella Girls lives. I think she was the one that had a ton of energy and really brought the excitement. So I might end up finishing the Tri-Primus trio for the Seiyu signs, but for the time being, these are just a select number of my favorites from that set. And since it is a set based off of a mobile game, all the art is just so beautiful. So we have that. Let's not get that in glare. Okay. Next is something a bit unexpected. It's not Japanese, it's Chinese. I picked up a copy of this Chinese Level 0 Asuna from the Sword Art Online 10th Anniversary light novel set that came out in China. We do have a Chinese version of the game now. I think a lot of people in the West might not be super connected with that aspect because, like, kind of like Chinese social media, it's just completely disconnected from Western social media. So all we really got was like that initial announcement that they were doing Chinese sets. But I really like Asuna. I was even looking for like a 4th copy to complete like my Level 0 Asuna Runner playset. So I figured, hey, you know, I collect Asunas in English, I collect Asunas in Japanese, might as well just pick this one up in Chinese. So I am super glad that I did. It's really, yeah, it's really funny to compare with like the different languages. Because it's like, I understand, I can read Japanese. I can also sort of read Chinese. I am Chinese myself, but like I don't actually, like, I've forgotten a lot of the written language. But it's just kind of it's just so weird to see Weiss cards in a language that isn't English or Japanese. And I'm sure we'll get more weirded out as Nikkei comes out, and we're gonna have Korean Weiss cards now. How crazy is that? But yeah, I have always wanted this Asuna. I love this art. I'm a big fan of Haruka Tomatsu, and I just like sword art in general. So I started the Asuna collection a couple years ago, and obviously I want to keep completing it for my collection, and also have a set so I can play with them. All right, next, I picked up a couple of Japanese mice from Bunny Girl Senpai. So I have originally an English mai collection, but unfortunately, since Dreaming Girl, we no longer have signatures on the mice. I think due to Aniplex licensing issues. So I still have like those English stamps of mai, but I kind of later down the line, I think sometime this year, I decided I want to go and find the Japanese versions of the cards that we don't have signed. So that would be anything from set 2 and beyond. So I picked up a couple mice this year. I picked up the level 1 Climax combo from Dreaming Girl. I have the level 0 Secret Rare Brainstorm from Dreaming Girl. I picked up this level 3 Secret from set 1 Bunny Girl. I think if I had an English version of the signature version, I probably wouldn't have bothered to pick this up. But after all this time, I still don't have a copy of the 3-2 Mai Secret Rare from the original English print, which like I'm just like kind of peeved about, you know. It's just kind of like a hole in my collection. It's just like I have the stamped version, but not the signed version. So I decided to just bite the bullet and buy a Japanese copy instead. So now I do have a signed version of her. And I do collect both languages. It's not as if I'm like super mad that I'd have mixed language, right? Because at the end of the day, it's the same card, and I just care about the character, and I care about the seiyuu. And then I picked up a copy of the ABR Mai from when Knapsack Kid season set 3 came out. I figured that if/when Bunny Girl 3 came to English, it might suffer the same problem as set 2 did, which is just a lack of signs. As of the time of this recording, set 3's information says that everyone is getting signs, except they are modifying the product. We don't know exactly what they're modifying, but the signs point to specifically the level 3 finisher Mai ABR and the level 0 Riki Mai ABR, what's her name? Asami Seto signs. Those two ABRs, the signs point to them being changed, which is just so weird, given that the set has another ABR for the Knapsack Kid, which for all intents and purposes is still Mai. It's still voiced by Asami Seto. She's still getting a signature for that card in English. But why not the grown-up Mai? I just don't really understand what's going on. Bushiro hasn't really told us anything outside of there is a red line on the product description page that says, no, this product has been modified from the original Japanese, which is just, it's very unfortunate. I am happy that we are getting at least some signs, right? They did confirm all the SPs are getting signs. But I figured something like this might happen for a future set 3 when the JP set came out. So I just bought one on release. I just bought one from our good friend Brian from Nova TCG. And yeah, it's beautiful. I think like because of how expensive they were, I think I paid like 2,000 when this dropped that week, and so I was like, okay, I'm gonna allow myself to pick up one of the two Mais, either the Riki level 0 ABR Mai or the level 3. And honestly, I just like the level 3's art a lot more. I like just the posing. I like her smile. I like her face more. Just everything about this card I do like a bit more. So it was also I was also in luck because Nova did pull the level 3 and not the level 0, so I just bought that pretty quickly. I'm pretty happy with it. Alright, and then we have Cardcaptor Sakura. Cardcaptor Sakura is the anime that I grew up watching when I was a kid, growing up in Taiwan, just watching whatever was on the television with my big brother. We watched a lot of Detective Conan, and we watched a lot of Dragon Ball, and we watched a lot of Cardcaptor Sakura. Cardcaptor Sakura was the anime that I fell in love with before I started watching anime for real, you know? I started watching anime with the intention of like specifically watching anime like around high school. Been in Taiwan back when I was like 7 or 8. Like I was just watching whatever was on the TV, and oftentimes that was, you know, for all intents and purposes, just whatever anime was airing. Sakura has been a series that's been near and dear to my heart ever since. Even now as an adult. Every so often I do go back and watch the original series, and it does not lose its charm. It was just so ahead of its time, and I still have quite a blast watching it. So when they came out with a 25th anniversary celebration set this year, obviously I was going to get a lot of my favorite characters. So we have the Sharon sign, right? I'm going to look at Sakura last. I'm going to look at some of the other signs first. We have Sharon, Carol. This set has a lot more signatures, but these were just the ones I kept. Because I didn't really care too much about the clear card characters, and honestly, I don't like Tomoyo that much. So I just kept the characters I liked. Or like went and sought to buy the characters I liked. So Sharon, Carol, and I did pick up the 3 versions of the secret rares from the set. Any secret rares? Oh, SSPs, yeah. So the 1 per case. This pair of art I love. So this reflects the original 90s art style, and this is the Sakura clear card in middle school art style. And you know, the more things change, the more things stay the same. We still have our best bud Carol alongside her. She's still just going to school, enjoying her life, and solving problems that come with the cloud cards, whatever come her way. And then we have this really, really cute level 0 Sakura as well. So this is... I know sometimes when I get sad, I just open my binder, I look at these Sakuras, and then life is just better. And this is the card that I really was super blown away by when they previewed this. This is not a card that comes from the booster. It's actually a promotional card that you can win by winning, I believe, the Sakura title cups in Japan. So like in Japan, there's a lot of Weiss tournaments. And in these major tournaments, they also have side events. One of these side events would be the title cup, where you participate in a tournament but you're restricted to one particular title. So they'll often run title cups for a lot of their newer releases. So it's like if they come up with Azure Lane and, you know, like Sword Art and Sakura and Rascal, you know, they'll run all those title cups in the same regional. I think they usually run like 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 different title cups per regional, just based on, you know, the last like X number of releases. So this was, I believe, the winner promo for winning the Cardcaptor Sakura title cup. And you guys, I just need to show you guys how amazing this foiling is. The whole card, like, no, compared to basically like normally how they do like foiling and cards and stuff, you guys see that the actual art is the foiling. Like they sketch in the art, and this is all textured foiling here. It's so insane how they did this. It's so unique. It's so amazing. Like, I'm just running out of descriptives without sounding like just trying to look up the thesaurus, you know? It's the moment I saw this, I had to get it, you know? This was such a beauty, and I am so mad that this card is so trash in terms of the gameplay effect. Like this, I'm just like, you know, that meme with the Arthur fist. Like, I I can't. You know, but this is obviously a trophy piece. You know, if it were better, I might have picked up 4 and I would run it in my deck. But you know, since we don't plan on playing this card in any, we don't plan on sleeving this card up in any deck ever again. I tried it once. It was no good. It was terrible. I had a bad time. This is just going to be a binder piece. But what a beautiful binder piece it is, and it has the Catch You Catch Me. You know, Catch You Catch Me is the very first opening of the original card Captain Stark. This is just harkening back to the OG days, and it just makes me so nostalgic. What a beautiful card. Alright, so that about wraps up what I picked up for Japanese singles this year. Let's clean up a bit, and then we're going to show you guys a bit more stuff. And here we have a couple of unique stuff. We have this why am I blanking out? Mimori Suzuko. Hand sign from the first review Starlight set. Serialized number 32. It's really interesting how they did specifically the Mimori hand sign in JP. Because the other members of Review Starlight had their hand signs inserted into the booster packs for Review Set 1. But I believe, and this is only for the Japanese version, because I know the English version of Mimori's were also in the packs. But the Japanese versions, I think, were like lottery and CDs or something? Review fans, like, for those that know, feel free to correct me, but I believe this was like from some CDs, which is why you see that this is in still its original wrapper. You know, obviously it wouldn't come in a wrapper if it came out of a pack in a booster box, right? So I saw this on Mercari a couple months ago, and I was just like researching serial numbers, kind of just like understanding like how the Japanese market is on for serial numbers, and I came across this Hikari, and I thought this was like really reasonable. I think it was like $700 or something. And I do like Mimori quite a bit. I appreciate her work for a lot of the Bushiroad franchises. Obviously, I've been so like tangled up with Bushiroad franchises, you know, since I got into Weiss with, you know, things like Love Live and Bane Dream. I really like Review Starlight. That's why I thought the anime was very, very good. And so on and so forth, right? So I thought, okay, you know, how often are you going to come across one of these hand signs, right? So I figured this was just something really nice that I could add to my collection that I could appreciate quite a bit. And then the other cool pickup I had this year was the 1 out of 10 Lion King from FGO Knights of the Round Table Camelot. This was just a card that a customer pulled, actually, and they brought it over to my shop, and they were just like, you know, well, I want to sell this, you know, I don't know how much it's worth, can you give me an offer? So I gave him an offer he can't refuse. So super cool. I personally, honestly speaking, just to be frank with you guys, I'm not a super big fan of FGO. I do like Fate quite a bit, and I actually like all the main heroes quite a bit. I obviously love Saber because she is the type of character that I just appreciate both in terms of personality and aesthetics. So blonde hair, I already told you guys how I like blonde hair, you know, like obviously I like Asuna, a strong, steadfast girl. Saber, strong, steadfast in her principles. So it's not, I don't particularly like Lion King because like I don't consume FGO media, but I can still appreciate for what it is. Obviously, it's super cool. It is the different Saber face. So those are a couple of cereals that I picked up, and then let's talk about some. What should we talk about next? Let's talk about some decks. Well, actually, here. So with the release of HoloLive Summer Premium and HoloLive Ambassador in English this year, I finally got around to sleeving up a 50-card Suisei deck. I haven't actually played with it yet. I've just built it. But at the very least, I'm very happy to report that it is, at the very least, functional. I think. I think. It does check off a lot of the basic benchmark check marks of what you need in a Weiss Schwarz deck, We have the new Brainstorm now from the Ambassador set. We do have some milling options. Sort of. Not really. We're just milling like one at a time. We're milling okay, let's be real. We don't have milling options. We're just brainstorming. But we do also have like the new level 1 Suisei Summer Premium, which can change into the level 1 Gold Bar combo from the trial deck. So it's like technically, if things go really well, you do have a game plan from level 0 to level 3. You know, you have some decent beaters. You have the 4Ks. You have the climax droppers that can become 4K. So level 0, you are actually pretty strong. You do have some utility with the set 1 uncommon. And then obviously the brainstorm, when you play climax, you can top check to rearrange or give a character cruise. I mean, it's a bit of a shame because I think we're never going to get green Suisei cards ever again. Because all the green Suisei cards that were ever printed were from the trial deck. So this is from the trial deck, the counters from the trial deck, and obviously the combos from the trial deck. But all the booster Suisei cards are all blue, which would make sense because that is her image color. It's like, I don't even need these counters, right? Like, I'm not protecting this 4K. Like, who's protecting? Like, let's be real here. We're not protecting anything in our deck. Well, everything's tiny. But, like, I need the green count. I just need to pad the green count, right? This 1-1 split is intentional. I do want one version of each because they do have different art, even though they are the same card. And then we're just going to play a bunch of 3s because we just need to pad the 3 count. Obviously, this is our climax combo finisher, so we're going to play 4. But then, like, normally no deck would play 4 early play Suiseis, but it's like, we're playing a mono Suisei deck. What else are we going to run, right? And you gotta flex a little bit, right? And we have the climaxes, so. I did finish this up this year. And yet to play it, but one day, when the time comes. Maybe we'll feature it on the channel or something. Okay, let's look at some of my bigger items in terms of size. I'm not talking about value, talking about size. So let's take a look at Dengeki Bunko, our favorite, or maybe not so favorite, depending on your perspective. One of the sets of all time to have come out, this past year or so. I love Dengeki Bunko. I love it. I was telling you guys about how I grew up watching anime starting with my high school days. And it's like the turn of the 2010s and moving forward. So a lot of these franchises really resonate with me. Obviously, there's some franchises that I don't quite recognize from Dengeki Bunko because sometimes they just have never been adapted into anime form, or I just haven't watched their corresponding anime. But when Dengeki Bunko was first announced in Japanese, I was over the moon because I love so many sets, so many series from Dengeki Bunko. You have Spice and Wolf, Toradora, Excel World, Sword Art Online, Index Railgun, right? So I completed the master set of Japanese Dengeki Bunko. I'm gonna show you guys a little bit. Something that I really appreciate about the set design of these Bunko sets, like Fujimi Volume 2 and Dengeki Bunko, is that they just give you so much content. Now, obviously, Dengeki Bunko's pull rates at 3 per case when they have 64 SPs leaves a lot to be desired. But I really appreciate how they get everyone involved in it. So we have, for example, like this holo is the Seiyu sign, whereas this holo, I believe, I think this is the author, and then this holo is, I think, the illustrator. So that's kind of like the format that they're doing, right? So like the Alice here is drawn by Abek, or it's signed by Abek, which is the illustrator. We have the Haruka Tomatsu Asuna sign, right? So they really bring in everyone involved, because anime and creating a series is not just about the voice actress, actor, which is obviously what we're going to be most familiar with. But without those other characters, without those other people in play, these things would not happen. Devil is a part-timer. I love Devil is a part-timer. I'm so happy that Devil is a part-timer got cards. We have our favorite pair, Mao, and the hero Amelia. Right. Aura Emo even has cards. We have our favorite incest show. We have another Mai, right? Denpa Onna. I remember watching Denpa Onna, or I remember having watched Denpa Onna, but like I never really remembered much about that show. I thought it was just one of those shows that I was on such an anime high kick. I just watched basically everything that like any one person on the web suggested to me. Denpa Onna was one of them, but unfortunately I don't remember too much about it. 86. Oh my god, 86 is... I love 86. 86 was so amazing that after season 2 ended, like I just went and just bought like the next light novel chapter on like on my phone, and I just started reading 86. You know, and like I really don't read light novels. It's not something that I particularly care for, but 86 and Danmachi, those two were the series where like after I watched the anime, I was so in love with the world, with the characters, that I just needed to read more. So like I've been reading Danmachi light novels recently, for example, and 86. I did buy some 86 light novels to read as well. Alright, we have I never actually watched Kino's Journey. I've always heard it was pretty decent, but I never really got into it. Index, right? Mahoka, more sword art. Horizon in the Middle of Nowhere is also another set that, or another series that I've never watched. I never was really interested in the art style. And I think I had a conversation with one of my friends recently about like, hey, you know, is Horizon in the Middle of Nowhere worth watching anime-wise? And like he was just like, nah. So it's probably not something I'm gonna check out. And here we have the trial deck cards. Every card does come triple rare or signed, so I collected all of those as well. So we have here the Misaka Mikoto sign, we have the Hanekawa sign, and I think I'm missing... What am I missing? Oh, oh, no, here it is. We have the Toradora sign. From, this is a Minori sign, I believe, because Taiga has her own signature in the booster. And then for the short side trial decks, we do have the Anos. I never watched the show, but this card is freaking so cracked. It's 3,500 that just pluses us and mills 2 for no reason. And we have a really cute Lena. We have a group of Excel World girls. We have our favorite protagonist, Kirito. And obviously, like Kirito is a bit, you know, cliche, but you know, without him, there is no Sword Art Online, right? So, and then we have Tatsuya, a very cool guy. And then just some of the first seconds. I don't think I actually ever finished collecting the first seconds because there's just so many, and I don't think I even bothered. So I opened a decent amount of cases for Japanese, and then I just bought the signatures for the rest that I was missing. But I actually never think I went and figured out which first seconds I was missing. So this is not all of them, I believe, but it's just whatever I had that I pulled. But I just love how the set design for this is. Again, the pull rates were a bit abysmal, right? But you know, it is what it is. I love these series too much that I figured this type of set was the type of series that I wanted to collect a master set for. So that's what we have here. That's binder number 1. I finished that this year, and then binder number 2. Another master set. So no Frieren. And that's not me saying the show is so-so. That's just the name of the show. Now, obviously, at the time of this recording, or at the time of this video's posting, we will actually have just finished, the English version of Frieren Beyond Journey's End, our content block, where I will definitely have gushed all about how much I love Frieren. And here in this video, you'll get to hear more about how much I love Frieren. So, Frieren is just a show that blew me away. It's actually a series that I had followed the manga for previously. I have a couple empty slots here because I have a deck that I'm playing them in. But yeah, a friend recommended Frieren to me a while back, I think like 2 years ago, and he was like, you gotta check the Frieren out. Frieren is just like a different vibe. It just is such a special manga. So I did check it out, and I fell in love with it immediately. So when they announced an anime adaptation, I had my fingers crossed that it was going to be one that could do the original work justice. And it was everything and more that I could have ever asked for. The anime adaptation was spectacular. It was immaculate. It was outstanding. I loved it. It was a personal 10 out of 10 for me. Just having the world that I love so much in manga form come to life. You can tell by how high the production quality is and just a lot of the minute details that not only obviously did they have a really good budget to work with, but that the people that were creating this anime, the team, they really cared. They loved the source material as much as we do. So they put a lot of heart into it. The animation's amazing, the art style, the color palette, the music, everything for me was just a slam dunk. And some of my favorite episodes for Frieren were all the kind of like more mellow, introspective, non-fighting episodes. No, obviously the fighting episodes like the Aura arc, you know, and the magic examination arc, those obviously had their own fair share of really cool action scenes, and those were super cool as well. But my favorite part of Frieren, and I imagine for a lot of you folks as well, it's just the interaction between the characters. It's just following Frieren's journey as she discovers what it means to feel emotions and understand emotions like a human does. Understand human sympathy, you know. Try to just get to know her friends, get to know Fern, get to know Stark, get to know her old friends Eisen, Hyder, and especially Himmel. Try to understand what he was trying to tell her those 80-some years ago. On her journey to go to the Promised Land so that she can speak with and meet Himmel and his soul one last time. I just adore Frieren. So when the set came out in Japanese, I couldn't wait for an English release. I just went in and got a master set of everything. At the minimum, I did get a couple more SPs of like playables. For example, like I got like 4 copies of the Frieren on play Fukajiro. I got I think like 4 copies of the level 0 Aura Fern Bomb. A couple copies of the Secret Rare, the SSP Himmel. And I think I'm missing a couple copies of the level 3 Frieren as well as the level 1 Fern, which I have in my deck right now. But it's going to be a slower project. I'm not super like peeved about like not having every single card that I want to play max rotate, but I think eventually I will probably just go look for some bargain deals and finish it up. But I think the set deserves it. I love the set too much. And you guys will have noticed that compared to my previous Dengeki Bunko binder, I actually put both the non-foil and the foil version in here. And that's because there actually is a difference on a lot of the non-foils and foils, which I really like. Dengeki Bunko, the base ready arts already look really good because they take the source material art already. So the foil / sign versions, they still have the same art. So for me, it didn't really matter if I needed to put like the non-foil and the foil version. But with Frieren, you definitely want to appreciate both. You lay them side by side and they just look stunning. There's so many differences. And my favorite, I think, is the... Oh my god, let's just... my feelings every time. Eternal Love. Frieren. That's binder number 2 that I completed. 2 of 2. And then the last big item I have is this Asuna pack that I have. I collect English Asunas. I have every English Asuna. Haruka Tomatsu's signature. So obviously when English Dengeki Bunko came out, even though I do have the Japanese Asuna technically, I collect English Asunas as well. So I did pick up a copy of the level 3 Asuna from our friend Strictly Broken. So now we have a nice 3x3 grid. But when they come out with more Asunas in the future, we will not have space anymore. So we're going to need to find a bigger grid. All right, let's wrap things up. I want to wrap things up with talking about some of my personal favorite series in terms of deck builds. At the end of the day, I guess I am going to circle back to a bit more of the gameplay aspect, but it's going to be short and quick. And I have 2 franchises here for you. They're not the ones shown on this deck box. Obviously, like one's Vanguard. You know, like I got into Vanguard recently in terms of watching Divines. I really like Divines, so I picked up this Hikari deck box. But the first deck we'll show you guys is obviously it's Frieren. I love Frieren. And it's not even just like the show. Like sometimes I like the show a lot, but the set is not super fun. So I would probably say this is something like Cardcaptor Sakura. I did not have a ton of mileage with playing the 25th anniversary set. I thought that a lot of my builds were very limited in my deck building options because of how they force you to run the 3 different events for a lot of your different end games. So I thought that was kind of boring in terms of just having been forced to just run particular shells. It was also really annoying that I couldn't run clear card cards with the anniversary cards, so it's like the Japanese clear card set 1 cards were just largely useless. So I was really peeved about that in terms of just design style that they did with Sakura, though I do think that some of those builds, because you do have to run so many events, turned out to be pretty unique at first, but I think it quickly wore off for me. Frieren, though, is a set that I can't get enough of it. Like, as you guys have seen in our previous content block for English, there are so many cool different Frieren builds and so many flavorful effects, so many cool strategies. And also, I think it is actually quite competitive as well. I think, like, the 8 pants build is just really solid. I think the Frieren being able to cheat out, just stock for free is really good. I love the interactions for events in this particular set a lot more than, for example, Sakura, which is also another event-based deck. It feels like you have just a lot. It feels more liberating. Like you don't have to play events in your Frieren decks. But some builds, obviously, the package is kind of built in with like the Fern and stuff. But I just felt that like you had so many more options. You had so many more good events actually that you could just run. You have like the 3-1 stock event. You have the 2-0 sour grapes event. You have the 2-4 Zoltrak event, right? And these are all options that you could run here. Whereas in Sakura, I don't want to harp on Sakura too much, but long story short, it was just a set that like I do not enjoy playing for extended periods of time, or as like, if I'm thinking for like what do I want to play for weeklies, it's like Sakura's not on the top of my list. The second set that I found really fun is Disney Mirrorverse. And Disney Mirrorverse obviously is not a set that exists in English, but funny story, I had picked up a couple of Mirrorverse cases for the Tressa shop, and they did so poorly that I was like, this set actually seems pretty cool. I'm gonna open some boxes and get a playset for myself. And I did, and I built the predominant meta deck for that series, which is 8 Choice Mickey. And that deck is so fun. That deck is so cool because it's a level 3 toolbox deck. And you guys might think, it's like, well, how does a level 3 toolbox deck work? So you have this like level 3 Mickey that comes down to level 2, and then Climax combo, you can summon any. All of the characters, all of the level 3s, their on-play effect also activates from when they're summoned from deck, which is just so. There's hexproof. You have a Goofy that gives all of your characters 1500 power. You have a bunch of healers that you could just start spam healing if they don't deal with your Mickeys over consecutive turns. Basically, any situation that you could think of, one of the level 3s that you could potentially put in your deck and summon will offer an answer. So I think that is just such a cool set. And I think it's actually still doing quite well in Japan right now. This deck that you're seeing here that I'm showing off is obviously not an 8-choice Mickey deck. It was, I think, the last build that I experimented with for the Mirrorverse set. So I guess this is more of a Disney Neo standard. So we have like level 3 Cinderella and level 0 Evil Queen. This deck sucks. don't think that this deck is good. It was just a pile that I was experimenting with. But yeah, I mean, that's part of the fun, right? Like you just experiment with things and see if they work or not. So Disney Mirrorverse, 2 thumbs up. I think that set was also super fun to explore with, and I had quite a lot of mileage from that. Okay, I think that wraps things up. We are, I believe, just approaching the 1 hour mark of this video. I hope everyone has enjoyed this video. I know, again, we don't normally do a lot of collector content, so I did want to throw one of these videos in, as I am a pretty big collector myself, and I love Weiss Schwarz, and I love the signatures, and I love these pretty cards. I hope you guys have a nice rest of the year as we wrap up 2024. What do you guys think about the releases this year? What are some of the cool cards that you guys picked up? I want to hear all about it. What is your favorite card? What is your favorite series from 2024? If you guys are local to SoCal, feel free to drop by my shop at Frank & Sons anytime. If not, to just show me your collection. I love looking at people's binders. Every binder has its own flair, its own uniqueness, and you can definitely tell, everyone's love that they have for their favorite characters by the way they design and place their binders and sequence their cards and stuff. So I love seeing binders. You can also message me. I'd be happy to talk hobby and all that stuff. But until then, have a good new year. I think we're still going to have one more release this year. Yeah, I think it's Macross, yeah? Macross Delta, which is a super cool set, so we'll be bringing that guy over to you guys. But until next time, this has been Mike on the Tressa's Collectibles channel. Have a good year, have a good holiday season, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!